Đông drums have bronze drums fabricated by the Đông culture in the Red River Delta of northern Vietnam. The drums were produced from about 600 BCE or earlier until the 3rd century CE and are one of the culture's finest examples of metalworking. The drums, cast in bronze using the lost wax casting method, are up to a meter in height and weigh up to 100 kilograms. Đông drums were apparently both musical instruments and cult objects. They are decorated with geometric patterns, scenes of daily life and war, animals and birds, and boats. The latter alludes to the importance of trade to the culture in which they were made, and the drums themselves became objects of trade and heirlooms. More than 200 have been found across an area from eastern Indonesia to Vietnam and parts of southern China. History. The earliest drum found in 1976 existed 2,700 years ago in Guanzhong in Yunnan Chaozhou Autonomous Prefecture, China. It is classified into the bigger and heavier U drums, including the Đông drums and the Dian drums, into 8 subtypes, purported to be invented by Ma Yuan and Zhu Liang. But the book of the later Han said Ma melt the bronze drums ceased from the rebel Lak Viet in Jiaozhi and Horse. The discovery of Đông drums in New Guinea is seen as proof of trade connections, spanning at least the past 1,000 years, between this region and the technologically advanced societies of Java and China. In 1902, a collection of 165 large bronze drums was published by F. Hager, who subdivided them into a classification of 4 types. Appearances. The drums have a symmetrical appearance with 3 parts: the barrel, the head, the leg. The patterns on drums bear a realistic style and show stilted houses, dancing people pounding rice, beating drums and sailing, together with animal and birds. The scenes depict daily life of ancient Viet and reflect the artistic talent and mind. The drums were used as musical instruments in festivals, such as prayers for rain, for good harvest, and rituals, such as weddings and funerals, as well as command in army. They were also used as funerary objects and symbol of power of tribe leaders. Classification. The Hager 1 drums of the Đông culture were classified and divided into 5 groups by the Vietnamese scholar Pham Huy Thong in 1990, a division that implied a chronological succession. The earliest, Group A, comprises a set of large and intricate decorated drums. Group B consists of smaller drums which almost universally have a group of water birds in flight as a key motif on the tympanum and the mantle. Designs. Group C has a central panel on the tympanum made up of a row of plumed warriors placed inside another panel of waterbirds in flight. Toads line the tympanum's edge, while the mantle was decorated with either patterns involving boats or geometric patterns. Notable drums. Nok Lu. The Nok Lu drum is regarded as the most important of the Đông drums. The drum was accidentally discovered in 1893 in Ha Nam province, southeast of Hanoi, rather than during a planned expedition. In contrast to most other drums of the Đông, the drum head bears 3 concentric panels depicting animals or humans interleaved with bands of geometric or circular patterns. The innermost panel appears to be a self-referencing depiction, as it is decorated with pictures of humans who appear to be performing a ceremony involving the drums themselves. Other musical instruments and rice-growing and harvesting activities are also shown. The 2 outer panels are decorated with scenes of deer, hornbills and craned egrets. Hoang Ha. The Hoang Ha drum is a notable Đông drum. It was discovered in Hoa Binh province in 1937 near the village of Hoang Ha, with an outer panel of craned egrets and an inner panel which shows a procession similar to that described in the Nok Lu drum, the most famous of the Đông drums. It depicts four feathered men are depicted walking in a line, brandishing spears, with two musicians in tow. A person is depicted standing under the eaves of a house, beating a drum while the rice fields are unattended, allowing a bird to eat the rice that was intended for threshing. The boats depicted on the mantle of the drum are very similar, with an analogous cleft prow archer standing on raised platform in a drum. However, the drum is different from the Untitled drum in that the animal is absent. The Silo drum is a notable specimen showing a procession similar to that described in the Untitled drum. The drum only has two warriors with spears, in contrast to that of the Untitled drum. Another difference is that the ensemble of percussionists consists of three drummers, with one drum lying under the eaves of the house. Meanwhile, an extra person is depicted in the rice threshing process. The person has long hair and is winnowing grain into a bowl. The percussion ensemble is also depicted differently in that the drummers are not all drumming in synchronization. Two of the drummers are depicted making contact with the drum, while the other two drummers have the batons in the raised position. Songda. The Songda drum is a notable specimen discovered in Bin in the 19th century. The drum shows a procession similar to that described in the Untitled drum. This drum varies in that it depicts four sets of men in procession with feathered headgear, rather than two. Also, each set comprises 3 or 4 people, none of whom appear to be armed. The posture of the men was interpreted as that they were participating in a dance rather than a military ceremony. In this drum, only one pair of people are depicted as threshing rice, and there is no cymbal player. However, the general motifs, such as the boats on the mantle, remain in place. The Guanzhong Drum from Thanhua province is another specimen, which is believed to be possibly later in origin. However, the drum is smaller and the images are harder to interpret. Large drums found in northern Vietnam were generally in the minority, as most drums have simple decorations with fewer representations of people. The Ban Tom drum has only an inner panel with 4 houses and plumed humans standing alone or in couples. Modern customs. Zhuang people in Yunnan practice Ningdong wine, Ningdong music, etc. The Ningdongs used by them have same decoration with Dongsun drums.